Hello and thank you for joining me for another episode of Run Level 0. This video was a follow-on to the review that I just did of ArchBang Linux. In this episode, we are going to go over a few basic configuration tasks that you're going to need to perform after installing ArchBang. ArchBang is an excellent Arch-based Linux distribution, but it is not for the beginning user. So if you're following along with this video, I'm assuming that you're intermediate to advanced, that you are comfortable in the Linux terminal, that you have no problems installing and removing software and updating your system from the terminal, as well as performing a few configuration tasks on your system's files. So let's get started. We're going to begin. This is a clean install of ArchBang. It is running in a virtual box. It has 2 dedicated processors and 2 gigabytes of RAM. We're going to start by opening a terminal, and on their Conky they have listed a few of their shortcuts here. You'll find these handy as you move along using ArchBang. So we're going to use Super T and open up a terminal. Now, while ArchBang is an excellent distribution, it's not ready to go right out of the box. This video was not intended to be a catch-all to show you how to configure every aspect of your system. There's just no conceivable way. There are too many variances out there with different hardwares, different architectures. But what we are going to do today is we're going to configure our mirror lists, we're going to update our system, and we're going to install a few utilities that you're going to find useful as you move along using this application. We're also going to install Yowert, which is going to allow you to search and install packages from the Arch user repository right from your terminal. So now with our terminal open, let's go ahead and maximize it. Since most of the operations we're going to be doing today are root operations, we're going to go ahead and become root by typing su / enter. It's going to prompt you for your root password, and we're going to go ahead and give it that password. Now, being an intermediate to advanced user, you have set a root password that is different from your user password, right? Please do yourself a favor. You know, Linux is one of the more secure operating systems, but that means nothing if you're going to leave the front door open by using a weak password. So get in the habit of using strong passwords. As a general rule of thumb, my root passwords are always at least 16 characters and utilize at least 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, 2 numbers, 2 special characters. Try to avoid common keyboard combinations because those are starting to show up in a lot of dictionary files and can make cracking your password a lot easier. So try to keep them random. Alright, enough about that. Now that we're root, I'm going to pass it clear to get a clean working surface. The first thing we're going to do is cd to etc pacman-d, and we're going to nano mirror list. What this mirror list is, this is a list of all the Arch Linux repositories. They're grouped by country. You can see the first on the list is Australia, but they are all commented out. That's what these pound signs mean. So any commented mirrors will be ignored by the system whenever you try to install or update. So we need to go through and uncomment the mirrors that are geographically closest to us. Those are typically the fastest. Now, if you're very enterprising, just got a wild hair, you can uncomment them all if you want. But for me, the ones that are geographically closest are the ones in Canada and the United States. So I'm just going to take a moment and uncomment all of these servers. Doesn't take long. There. Now once you've finished uncommenting all of your servers, you're going to hit Control O to save the file and Control X to exit. Next, we're going to figure out which one of those mirrors are fast. Well, I just got ahead of myself. Let's go ahead, since we're working with the basic mirror list, the default mirror list, let's rename that. And the way you rename a file in Linux is you're going to move. So mv mirror list, and let's call it mirror list old. That'll work. Now we're going to do some changes. And the reason why I chose to do it this way, the next step in our process, we're going to find out of the mirrors that we just uncommented, which ones are the fastest. And we're going to generate a new mirror list that keeps only the 10 fastest mirrors. But over time, some mirrors may become outdated, some may fall out of sync, may slow down. So if you notice later down the road, if your system is not updating as fast as it used to, if it's not installing software as fast as it used to, you can always delete the current mirror list and go back and rerun rank mirrors to generate a new mirror list based on the fastest one. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to do rank mirrors. And this utility is going to take our mirror list old, we're going to tell it to use mirror list old, and it's going to touch each one of those uncommented mirrors. It'll then generate a new mirror list based on the ones that were fastest. And in this case, we're going to do -n10. That's going to tell it to keep the 10 top mirrors in mirror list old, and we want it to output to mirror list, and hit enter. And this is going to take just a moment. It's going to touch all of your uncommented mirrors, and how long it takes of course depends on the mirrors and the number that you uncommented before. It just takes a minute to run. There we go. That took about a minute. So now, if you want to, you can go back and nano mirror list again. You can see everything, all the spaces have been removed, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom of your mirror list, you can see that you now have a list of 10 uncommented mirrors, and these are the 10 fastest of the ones that we had uncommented. So there you go. So let's Control X to exit. Now that we have our 10 fastest mirrors, we're still not ready. If you attempted to update your system now, your system would sync the mirrors, it would reach out to them and download the packages, and then it would error. It would not install any of the packages because your system does not yet trust those mirrors. So now we need to generate the master key for our system, and then we're going to download the keys for Arch Linux. So the first thing we're going to do is do pacman keys -- init. So pacman key init. Enter. Now this is going to generate the master key for your system. Of everything that we're going to do today, this is going to take the longest. This can be a pretty lengthy process. So please be patient with it. It's going to look like it's not doing anything, but in fact it is. So yeah, this can take between 15 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video here. Let's make note of the time. It's 12:47, and I'll be back with you as soon as this is done. Alright, we're back. It is now 13:20 or 1:20, so that did take quite a while. I warned you, but this is a one-time thing. Just please be patient, go through the process, you won't be sorry. So now that we have the system master key generated, the next step we're going to do pacman key, but this time we're going to do populate Arch Linux. And this is going to go out and get the keys for the Arch Linux servers. So there we go. Now we have our system master key, and we have the keys signed for the Arch Linux mirrors, and we are now ready to update our system. To update the system is no problem. We're going to do pacman -S YYU. This is going to sync the mirrors. It's going to see if there's any system upgrades. It's going to ask you a few times, do you really want to do it? Yes. It's going to resolve the dependencies. Just go ahead and click yes on all of that. Now it's going to download and install all of our system's updates. So again, this is going to take a few minutes, so I will most likely stop the video here, and I'll see you back as soon as this is done. Alright, that didn't take too long. So now we have a fully updated system. The next step in the process, we're going to install a few utilities, a couple of programs that may come in useful later on. So to install the programs, I'm going to issue pacman-S, and we're going to install, oops, if I can type it right, bin utilities, and GCC, and make. This set of utilities is going to allow us to install packages later on that we download from the AUR. These are very common. You're going to use them multiple times throughout your time in Arch Linux, so you might as well go ahead and install them now. We're also going to install the Flash plugin. This is a very, very important thing for you to install, because this package itself will allow you to watch Run Level 0 on your new Arch system. So you definitely want that, right? And we're going to install Nitrogen. Nitrogen is a fairly common program to be used in OpenBox based systems because it allows you to handle your wallpaper a little bit easier. So I'm sure you're going to want to change the default wallpaper at some point. So Nitrogen is going to make it easier to do that. There are other ways you can do it, but Nitrogen is just a pretty standard way. So let's go ahead and download and install those. That's just going to take a minute. It's going to resolve all the dependencies and do the installations. You can see here, checking keys in the keyring. That's where it would have errored out before had we not initialized the system key and downloaded the Arch keys. And there we go. Everything is installed, ready to go. Okay, so we're going to minimize our terminal and do Super W now. This is going to open Firefox, and we're going to search for AUR. This is AUR.archlinux.org. That's the page we want. This is the Arch User Repository. The Arch User Repository is, in my opinion, one of the real draws of Arch Linux. Aside from being bleeding edge, lightning fast, just an excellent distribution in its own right, the AUR is going to open up a whole new world of available packages to you. Now, if you want to, you can just come to this web page and search packages here in this search bar, download, and then install by hand. But we're going to install Yowert, which is going to allow us to search the AUR and install packages right from our terminal. So it's going to cut out the middleman. So we're going to go over to this search, just type in YAO, and Yowert should be the second in the list there. When you go to and you can search for any packages that way. When you go to the actual packages page, you're going to need to take note of the dependencies. There are 4 dependencies, and this is going to hold true for any of your packages. Make sure you download and install the dependencies first if you choose to do it by hand. Now you see there are 4 utilities, and I know from experience that package query is the one that we need. So we're going to go ahead and download package query because our system already has the others. So we're going to download the tarball. This is the package query that we need. Download this tarball, and we're going to save it. Now let's go back over to Yowert. Download this tarball and save it. Now that those are downloaded, we can close out Firefox and go back to our terminal. we're going to cd to home, and then the username that you created when you installed. In my case, it's me, it's init0, and downloads. Now if we ls from here, you can see package query and Yourt. We're going to start with package query. So we're going to tar-xf package query. That's going to extract it. Now when we ls again, you can see that we have a package query directory. So we're going to cd into package query, and if you ls again, you can see package build. This is why we installed make and those other dependencies. So now we're going to actually install from here. And to do that, it's really simple. All you're going to do is type in make package -sci, and this is going to resolve any dependencies and install it and then clean up afterwards. Oops. Okay. No problem. It says running make package as root is a bad idea and can cause permanent catastrophic damage to your system. If you wish to run as root, please use the as root option. So we're just going to add the -- as root. No big deal. And that's going to install it for us. It's going to ask us, do we want to proceed with installation? The Y is in capital letters, so that's the default option. So we're just going to hit enter, and it's going to download and install for us. Compiling, installing. Just takes a minute, and it's going to ask you a couple times, a couple of other installations that need to be done. So yes, let it go ahead, and it's done, and it cleaned up afterwards. So we're going to back up a bit. Oops. We're back in downloads. ls again. Now we're going to extract Yourt. So again, we're going to tar-xf Yourt. Now we're going to cd into the newly created Yourt directory, and once again you can just up arrow if you want and make package again in this directory, and it's going to install Yourt for us. Proceed with installation, yes, and it's done. So let's clean this up and clear. Now you have Yourt installed, and if you want to, YAOU, Yourt, let's look for, say you wanted to install a different desktop environment. If you're not too keen on OpenBox, say what some of the other desktops that I would recommend, if you wanted a more modern desktop or a different type of desktop, I would recommend LXDE or Razer QT, because they both use OpenBox as their default window manager. So let's do LXDE, see what's in the AUR, and here you go. Now you can search the AUR right from your terminal and install packages from here. So you can see that LXDE lightweight image viewer is here, and you can just search for the ones that you want. The menus, network manager, any of them are in here. Let's say you wanted something more. Let's take a look at Yourt Cinnamon. If you're a fan of Cinnamon, you wanted to install the Cinnamon desktop. Here they are, right here. All the packages for Cinnamon. And if you wanted to, let's see, the first one here is Cinnamon 2.0.14-2. That's one of, if that's not the most current one, that is one that's fairly current. So it's the Linux desktop, provides innovative features and a traditional user experience. So using the AUR really opens up a whole new world of applications that are available for you. So now you can update your system You can install and remove software from both the Arch mirrors as well as the Arch user repository. And you have Flash Player installed, so you can come out and watch Run Level 0 on your new Arch system. So I hope you find this video helpful. I'll be back in a little while, and I'm going to do one on how to theme your open box installation of ArchBang Linux. Give ArchBang a try, especially if you're an intermediate to advanced user and you want to really step out. It makes a great learning platform. It makes a great launch pad for creating your own custom distro. Well, I've enjoyed our time together today. I hope to be with you soon for another video. Thank you.